When I'm feeling stuck in editing, I often take a step back and think about my go-to techniques when creating impactful sequences. Today, I have 4 tips for you guys that have helped me immensely over the years, and I want to show you how you can implement them in your future videos. As far as editing goes, everything I'm going to show you is done with stock effects inside the Adobe Suite. So don't worry, no extra plugins or purchases are necessary. We're also going to talk about some easy filming techniques. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. If this video ends up helping you, consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more from me. My socials are in the description below. So the first tip that I have for you guys is cutting to the movement of a subject or action. In your footage, look for points where there is high action or movements going on. So in this case, when he brings his arms down, that's a good cutting point. Also in this video, you can see he turns at the end here, which I use to cut into the next clip. Another example here, he throws his shirt up, and we cut right when he throws the shirt up. So it's a movement or an action, you're cutting to it. I will say the frames matter when you're cutting these type of clips. Sometimes that one extra frame can really help seamlessly transition one clip to the next. So make sure you're cutting at the right point. Now, given I'm filming concerts, I'm almost always cutting to beats or drops of the song in my video. So I wanted to show you guys how you can make marks on your audio real quick. It's really easy to do. That way it's easier for you to cut to the music. So we want to make the marks on where the kick and snare is, or points in the song where the drop is. So for example, the kick comes in right here, so I'm just going to press M to make a mark, and you can normally see it on the audio spectrum here because the kick normally sticks out quite a bit. So like there's another mark right here, you can press M just to show you guys what I mean. Then we can click on our clip and move it, and it'll line it up with our marks for us. If we move this back to this one right here, now when the song hits with the kick right here, this cuts right when that happens. So it's just a nice easy way to add some impact to your video, and a really easy way to line up videos with your song. So I want to show you guys one way that you can transition clips when you cut to the action. So here I kind of want to do like a little zoom in at the end, like a little zoom transition. We're gonna use the transform tool. Just make sure your clip is selected and then double click transform. It'll put it on there for you. Now let's go to the end of the clip. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to go like 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to keyframe the scale. I'm going to go 1, 2, zoom in here, and let's bring it up to like 180. We're going to do like a pretty intense zoom in here. Make sure to deselect composition shutter angle. I'm going to set this to like 180 so there's a little motion blur, and then you can always highlight these and Bezier them if you want, or easy in. So now as you see at the end, we have like a little zoom in. Just make sure to drag that keyframe all the way to the end. And if you want to match that on this clip, we can just do the same thing. Drag and transform here, put this to 180, keyframe the scale and go like 1, 2, 3. Then we'll go up to 180 because that's what we zoomed into. Keyframe the scale, 1, 2, 3, reset it. Now we have like a zoom in, zoom out transition, just like a really easy way to add a transition to your videos. Highlight these, Bezier them. So now you just have a really nice transition that is working with the cut of the movement here when he brings his arms down. So that's just a really simple way that you can transition your videos. There's obviously endless ways you could probably transition that, but I just wanted to show you guys one technique that I often use. Now let's talk about using a combination of clips to build up to an impactful shot. So I actually have an example that I can show you guys right here from a video that I did recently, the Love Kelly Winterfest, which you can find on my channel. So the idea is to use the context of your footage to build towards that climax shot. The context also gives like a storyline to your sequence, regardless of how long it is. I think this sequence is like 10 to 20 seconds long, but there's a short storyline that I built in it using a combination of clips. So we've got him telling him that he's got to jump into the crowd, like getting him all hyped up for it. So to build up to him actually jumping into the crowd, I then cut off of this part. So I made sure to make most of the clips of him. Because he's coming towards us, I wanted to add a zoom out to all the clips that I showed here. So if I go frame by frame, you'll see that we have some zoom outs, some really quick clips, which ends on him. And then you can see in the bottom left corner right here, that's him jumping into the crowd, because that's the only shot I had of him jumping into the crowd. I'm going to show you guys how I created the sequence. It's really easy. Now I've gone over this effect on my channel before, so maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. I'm going to show it regardless. So basically these 5 clips are all 5 frames long. We want to make sure they're nice and short because that's going to add more motion blur. So let's go ahead and grab the transform tool again, one of my favorite tools inside of Premiere. Go ahead and double click that and we'll put it on your clip that you have selected right here. Because we were zooming out, basically, let's just choose a value of say like 200, and I'm going to set the composition shutter angle to 360, which is going to give us the maximum amount of motion blur. I'm going to keyframe the scale and come out just to the end and reset it and drag this keyframe all the way out. So now we have this zoom out effect. Actually, that motion blur is probably a little too strong. Let's go like 180. So now we have a zoom out keyframe. Let's just copy this transform tool by pressing Command C, highlighting the other ones and Command Ving. Now we've got a really quick motion blur zoom out sequence. I also wanted to show you guys you can play with the keyframes. If you right click here, here, we can do like an ease out, which then opens this up. And if you click on the keyframe, you can like move this bar around. It'll change the speed at which it zooms out here. So like if we drag this out, it's gonna like zoom out at the very last second. So then you could just copy, paste this across all the other clips. Just a really easy way to like add some difference. Another fun thing you can do, if you just highlight them all, right click and then go to nest and nest these, you can actually right click this again and speed duration, reverse it, and then you've got like another kind of effect right here as well. It's just like a different thing you can do. So to recap this section, it's about using a combination of clips to create a storyline in a short sequence leading up to that final shot. Now, this section is going to be about using in-camera movement to transition your clips, to cut your clips, to blend it all together. For example, left to right camera movement, up or down camera movement. Let me show you guys a few examples and how you can use it to spice up those edits. So often I'm doing whip pans. So here you can see I'm doing an up. I'm going a left to right here. We've got another down to up here, right to left to right. So basically I've got some camera movement going on, whether it's left to right to left, up or down or up, doesn't matter. It's camera movement inside my camera, and we're gonna build our sequence around that movement. So for example, in this clip, he throws his shirt up. So I selected a clip where I'm going down to up, which helps transition those clips. Now I wanna show you guys a really cool technique that you can use on your footage to create quick side to side whip pans. So in this instance right here, my camera's on my gimbal and I went left to right. What I like to do is I'm gonna cut right where the motion starts. And now we've got this left to right, and I'm probably gonna cut like right here as well. So I'm gonna right click the clip and speed it up by like 300%. And now if you play through it, we have a really quick whip pan, which you can just use to put in between clips. You could also take this clip and put on a horizontal flip if you want it to go the other direction. So let's grab a horizontal flip, put that onto this, and now it'll go right to left instead. Another trick you can use, we have like a right to left here into a left to right. And I wanna switch this up a little bit. So I'm actually gonna horizontal flip this one. So we go left to right. So I actually wanna speed ramp this. So I'm gonna right click on the FX button, go to speed, grab my pen tool and grab this like halfway, make a point, click and drag this up however far we want, 180, click and drag this out, and then just make sure to bend this a little bit. So now we got a little speed ramp into this. Let's zoom in, might even speed that up a bit more. It often takes me a little bit to like perfect where I want that speed ramp. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this clip. Right click on the FX button, go to speed, and I'm gonna speed ramp until we come like just into focus right here. So I'm gonna press P for my pen tool, make a point, speed it up, same amount, drag that out. So we basically built a speed ramp transition using the in-camera motion from left to right that we had on both of these clips. I'll show you guys again. If you right click these and then nest them, then duplicate it by pressing Option and then clicking over here. We can right click this, reverse it. Now if we play through it, we've got this forward, and then we've got it backwards. So like there's obviously endless possibilities. You can also right click this, go to your speed, make it nice and fast. Now we've got this whole sequence leading up into a reverse sequence that's way faster. I'm gonna right click it, bring these into After Effects. I'm gonna enable motion blur on both of them here just to kind of like clean up the speed ramp. So now we've got motion blur on both of them. So that's the general idea of using in-camera motion to create transitions in your videos. Now, last but not least, we're gonna talk about utilizing sound design to bring the whole video together and make it feel complete. You've got the music, you've got the cuts, you've got the transitions, you've got the effects. Now you need to add the sound in to bring it all together. This can be whooshes, impacts, risers, crowd noise, ambient noises. I'm gonna show you how I implement sound design in my videos, as well as some tips that you can use to make it sound better. So using the transition we just built, I'm gonna put a whoosh where the cut is, which is like just about right here. So I'm gonna try and line up this with the transition. And because we have this reversed right here, a cool trick that you can do with your audio is, say we want to cut right here and we want to reverse this. I'm going to option click, which will just duplicate it, right click it, go to speed and duration, and we're going to reverse it. So now we'll have a whoosh in, and you might hear some pops when you make these kind of cuts on audio. So just go to your effects, audio transitions, crossfade, and grab the constant power tool. Just make it nice and small. So you won't get that pop when you're cutting audio, especially if there's low end in the clip. So I'm going to build a really quick sequence for you guys with just the music and no sound effects. Then I'll show you guys the sequence afterwards with sound effects added in, so you can really see the difference that it makes.
My wrist on doom, my team won't lose, my bitch on my soon. This city is zoo, my big body cool, my wrist got some jewels. Exotic my blunt, exotic my cup, exotic my bitch, exotic my exotic my crib, I got exotic drinks. My wrist on doom, my team won't lose, my bitch on my soon. This city is zoo, my big body cool, my wrist got some jewels. Exotic my blunt, exotic my cup, exotic my bitch, exotic my crib, I got exotic drinks.
So I've got everything muted here. This is the entire timeline with the sound design included. And I just really quickly wanted to walk you guys through my thought process for it. So I used a crowd noise to start the video off to kind of set the stage, given that it's a performer. And I also used a riser, which starts at the very beginning with a constant power, which is under audio transitions. I like it better than exponential fade. It's just a different way to fade in your audio. I feel like it's a lot smoother. And the riser goes all the way up until the beat drops right about here, where I have some other whooshes filling in that empty space. You guys have already seen these whooshes before. We just went over how to do that forward and reverse. And then I used some other risers right here leading up to the camera. We've got some whooshes going on here to transition there. And then I used some low end whooshes to transition right here. It's super low, so if you don't have headphones on, you might not be able to hear it. I love that shot right there. Just love that transition. So as you can see, it's a lot of whooshes, a lot of risers. We've got some more crowd noise down here. And then I've just got a riser with an impact that happens at the very end here. All right, guys, well, that is today's video. I hope you learned something new today. To recap for you guys, we went over 4 editing tips today. First was cutting to the movement of a subject or action. Second was using a combination of clips to build up to an impactful moment or shot. Thirdly was using in-camera movement to transition your clips smoothly. And fourth, utilizing sound design to bring it all together. I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I really appreciate all your guys' support. I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.
My wrist on doom, my team won't lose, my bitch on my phone. This city is zoo, my big body cool, my wrist got some jewels. Exotic my blunt, exotic my cup, exotic my bitch, exotic my crib, I got exotic drinks, exotic my bird.